What is going on? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm good.
As always, your studio looks outstanding.
If you could only see all the dog hair.
Oh, that's right. All right, hold on. Let me get this streaming on our Facebook page. All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off. We are live both on our Zoom channel as well as in our FITposiumPLUS Facebook group. So we have people popping in on both channels. So I'll go ahead and I'll get the introduction started. Actually, before I get to that, want to let you know a little bit of an announcement that we have coming on. So we're coming up on, we've had our FITposiumPLUS platform now for, it has been just a little over a year. And the early predication of the platform was we wanted to give most of our conference attendees that extra layer of support when it comes to the establishment of the brand, the marketing of the brand, and the development of the profiting from their brand. And every month we've been doing live coaching sessions. We've been uploading educational modules. And just a few months ago, we put out a survey to all of our members to just get feedback. And the feedback we have been reading through, and what we are planning to do with this is create a variety of changes that you're going to begin seeing in the platform over the next few months. This means changes in the styles of content that we're going to be putting out, in our publishing schedule, in the number of live coaching sessions we're going to be doing. So we took all your feedback very importantly. But the one change that I can tell you is that within a few months, you're going to see a completely new name of this platform. We're moving away from the FITposiumPLUS platform, really because FITposium is our annual conference. And we wanted this online membership to go beyond that and to really hone in on why we created this to begin with. And so what you're going to see with the new brand and the new name is going to be Fit Business Online. So this is going to be the Fit Business Online membership. It's going to be all about how, once again, you establish, market, and profit from your brand as your brand connects to the health, fitness, and wellness industry, regardless of what you choose to spend your time doing, whether you're a trainer, a nutritionist, a health coach, a life coach, a photographer, a makeup artist, because we have people in so many different elements, but that all work within the health and fitness space. And what this platform is going to be about, what the new Fit Business Online platform is going to be about, is how to ensure that you have all the support and all the information to be able to get you there. And with that, we wanted to dive into very niche topics to help our members really accelerate even further. And one of the things that I've become so entrenched with and so really fascinated by is the use of platforms like YouTube. While everyone, or so many, are really leaning into Instagram, or maybe they're leaning into now Clubhouse, YouTube has been kind of this silent power that several people have been able to tap into and grow massively successful brands, both in promoting their brands and promoting their products and services, but also being able to monetize their own channels through YouTube to start creating additional revenue streams. And the person who knows more about this than anyone else in the fitness space is our coach today, Mr. Regan Rogerson. And so, I've had Regan on the podcast. He and I have talked just extensively, and he knows, once again, how do you establish that brand, leveraging the YouTube channel? How do you drive traffic to your YouTube channel? And then the third phase is, how do you monetize that traffic? So Regan, I'm going to turn the show over to you. I'm so excited that you could join us today. So good to see you, as always.
It's good to see you, man. And I'm happy to be here. I like talking about this stuff.
It is, I love how, like, with everything we do, like, this is your specialty. This is the thing that you can just dive into that no one can touch. So I'm just so honored that you could join us.
Yeah. I never consider myself an expert at this stuff. I think what I've always felt is that I just happen to have a little bit of a few different genres of skill that work well on there. And none of it is anything that I'm educated in or anything like that. So it's all very teachable and adaptable for anybody who's in this space. So first and foremost, I'm going to apologize in advance because this entire presentation will be scattered in a good way. Usually when it comes to this, there's a lot of rabbit holes that we go into and people have questions. I think we're going to try and hold off as many as we can till the end. But if somebody's really curious about something, like, jump in and we'll talk about it, because there's a lot to cover. And if we're doing this for just an hour, then I'm really going to have to kind of condense on the fly. But just to give everyone a bit of a quick blurb background on my story, I've worked in the fitness industry now for probably close to 25 years, off and on, everything from working in my father's gym to owning health clubs, personal training. I worked for a supplement company as an associate creative director. So basically, I've got a good solid amount of experience. My education is in broadcast journalism. Through that, I learned a little bit, enough to get by as far as shooting behind the scenes. So when I went off into journalism, I got out at the same time I was selling fitness equipment for a company in Toronto. And at that time, we were competing heavily against the Bowflex. We didn't sell the Bowflex. We had our own in-house brand. We're going up against the Bowflex because it was all over television at the time. One of the big selling points of the Bowflex was that it had a DVD that came with it that had over 100 exercises. So people associated this gym with having over 100 exercises. The fact of the matter is that any home gym that has an upper pulley, a mid pulley, and a low pulley can do 100 exercises. So I came up with the idea of creating a DVD very affordably, just with my own skill set and what I had for equipment to sell on the side of this gym and use it kind of as currency, to keep our margins high selling these gyms. Oh, I'll throw in the DVD. It's valued at $80, even though we're producing it for $1.50 or something. My boss and the owner of this company kind of crapped on the idea. I won't say exactly what he said because I'm not sure how PG we are here, James, but told me to do my job, and that wasn't my job. So I ended up doing this video anyhow. And after I did the video, I did this kind of in reverse, but I approached the company, this company in Chicago called Body Solid, and asked them if it's okay if I use their gym. This is when I already finished the video. So thankfully they said yes, but beyond that, they flew me to Chicago. I'm in my early 20s at the time. I don't know if they thought they were dealing with somebody bigger than they were, but they flew me to Chicago. They made a deal with me, and it was a 14-year licensing deal for this DVD, which basically paid me every 3 months for 14 years. They manufactured the DVDs in Taiwan. They gave me 40 cents US every time they made a DVD. Every time they sold a gym with the DVD in the box, I got $1 US. So it was a pretty incredible deal that lasted a long time. And I completely fell sort of backwards into that. And that made me realize that, okay, there's something to this. I mean, at that time, you didn't see a lot of people on more of a grounds, like a independent level shooting DVDs and workout videos. So I started doing that. And it was quite successful up until around 2015, where the DVD started getting a little bit shaky. This is when I moved over and started working with the supplement company, just because I was unsure where we were going. Fast forward 3 or 4 years, and now we're getting into 2019, and all these digital platforms were just blowing up with video and live video and all these opportunities. And I didn't leave my job just to do YouTube, but a big goal of mine and on my bucket list when I left this was I'm going to try and play around with YouTube. I had a channel that sat there for about 12 years, like I think almost everybody does. Didn't do a whole lot with it, but I wanted to try and do something with it and see because I figured if there's ever going to be a replacement for how I distributed content, this may be it. So left my job, opened the studio that I'm in right now, and started playing around with YouTube as kind of a side hustle. And I started playing around with that at exactly the right time, because I got my channel up and populated pretty good right around the time that a global pandemic kicked in and traffic on YouTube just spiked like 3 times what it is on a normal day. And I definitely capitalized on that. I started producing more content, and now my channel is, I think by how people would measure success on YouTube, my channel looks good, not great. I have roughly 17 to 18,000 subscribers on the channel. But excuse me, through my knowledge with, sponsorships in the fitness industry and understanding kind of how that works and everything that goes with that, I was able to monetize that channel to the tune of probably just shy of $6,000 a month. And that's as a side hustle. So I look at that as a lot of money. A lot of people, I think they look in bigger dollars, but I think anybody who's listening to this right now, if you can make an extra $5,000 or $6,000 a month through product sponsorships, Google AdSense, things like that, that would be okay, particularly for personal trainers, because I know a lot of personal trainers who got just kicked right square in the face when this pandemic kicked in. They felt they had a digital brand, they lost their physical brand, and they realized that their digital brand had no monetizable value. So that's why we're here today. And so I'm going to basically lay out, I'm going to pretend anybody that's listening to this, they either have a channel that's maybe they're not doing a lot with, or they're thinking of getting onto YouTube. So we're going to start from scratch, and we're going to go through basically about 9 or 10 points, and then we'll take some questions. So does that sound okay to you, James? Excuse me.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. And
Okay.
for those that are tuning in, if you do have questions, you can actually queue your questions in. Either if you're on Zoom, you can do it in the Q&A box or the chat box. If you're on Facebook, you can just type it right into the Facebook chat or comment section, and I'll just save all those questions for the end.
Perfect. So, all right. So first and foremost, setting up your channel. This is an area, there's a lot of things with fitness. I mean, fitness can be at times a very vanity type of genre of work. There's a lot of people who they get very wrapped up in themselves or their personal brands to the detriment of the client. And so when you're setting up YouTube, first and foremost, one of the first things I always tell my clients is you have to get past yourself. You know, something as simple as your channel name. My channel name is not Regan Rogerson. You know, and I've got 2 channels right now. Neither one of them do I use my personal name. I would love to brand it under my personal name because there are advantages to that. The problem is that nobody is on YouTube searching for Regan Rogerson. So I use Trainer Hub for my fitness channel. And for my marketing channel, I use Fitness Marketing Hub, which is very straightforward. And if, excuse me, if somebody comes across my channel, they know exactly what my channel is. And we'll get to that later because that is very important. I always encourage people to put the time in to create a nice brand aesthetic with their channel. And that's basically, you know, the banner at the top of the page, and also, you know, your profile picture and your thumbnails. There should be a color aesthetic there. You know, pastel colors don't work that well. You want something, because you have to realize that most people are going to discover your content in a feed, which is going to be surrounded by other videos of the same nature. And you have to make sure that your videos are standing out. So those bright neon colors, or even like a bold black with a nice white at the back, whatever it is, there should be one very bland color, and then one color that's very strong, that the text will pop and people can see what your stuff is. Excuse me. And same here. Okay. So that's very important. Not going too overboard with pictures of yourself. If your pictures are in your banner, I would suggest using a logo in your profile shot. It doesn't have to be like 1,000 pictures of you on the site. You know, having a logo in your actual little profile circle, be easier if I could actually physically show this right now, but I'll kind of, I guess I could do a share screen, couldn't I, James?
Yeah, you should have the ability to.
Yeah, let me, so I can bring up here. Might be easier just so people can kind of see.
I just set you as a co-host, so that should give you that permission.
All right, so I'll just use my vlog channel here. Whoops. There we are. Okay, you can see that, James?
Yeah, now I see your desktop, but it was showing your YouTube page right before that.
What's going on here? Oh, so there's here. Now you can see it
there. Yep.
All right. So, all right. So I'll use this one because this is actually, I think I did a better job of this channel than I did of my fitness channel. My fitness channel just started to grow. So now I haven't really changed anything on it. But one of the great things about this particular page is that the people that find me, I only started this page about maybe 7 or 8 months ago, around probably early December. I probably only had, 150 subscribers on it. Then suddenly it started to spiral in where it was like 4 a day, 5 a day, 7 a day. And it got pretty consistent with more people coming in. One of the biggest reasons is that it's very apparent what my channel is about. Not just to somebody who finds it, but to the YouTube algorithm, because you have to realize that the YouTube algorithm is a robot and its job is keeping people on YouTube. And how it does that is it tries to present the right people with the content they want to see. Because my channel does not mix, too many different things. It's all very much fitness marketing hub. The banners is build your fitness brand. The thumbnails, it's all stuff about building a fitness channel on YouTube. So the people that are being recommended my videos are exactly the audience that I want, which what happens is my retention rate stays high. And most of them are all very, very happy when they find the page because they're looking for this information. That's one of the biggest things that people need to realize when they're starting up is you need to niche down. It may not always be what you want to do. There's websites you can use. There's Google Trends for YouTube, where you can go on there and you can look up and find out. Every month I do a video and it's the top 25 rising searches on YouTube for fitness. And I go through them all with people. Big genres right now. Kids fitness is hot. Seniors training is very popular. Barbell training is starting to get popular. The reason these are getting popular, these are not always the top searches, but these are searches that are rising and there's not enough content to fulfill the thirst for these particular genres. And there's always a reason for it. Barbell workouts are becoming popular because Bowflex came out with a Select Tech barbell. And there's not really any content on workout for 15, 20-minute barbell workouts. So people are buying these up because Bowflex is fantastic with their marketing and people are looking for content and workouts to follow. There's not a lot. Kids fitness, all these kids are being homeschooled right now. And they're trying to find, they have phys ed programs that they're being told to do things, go outside and do stuff. I know myself, my kids are dealing with it right now. So people are popping up with these channels featuring, children's workouts. And so also, very popular. So there's different ones. And you want to tap into the trending rising searches because it enables you to surface higher on YouTube and search results, as opposed to doing something that's just over the top popular that everyone else is doing, and then being on like page 79 of search results and never ever basically coming to the surface and being discovered. It gets a lot harder. So that's a big one. You need to try and niche. I could have taken this fitness marketing stuff and put it on my channel that already at the time had probably 10 or 12,000 subscribers, and I would have got more views quicker and stuff like that. I didn't do that because I felt the people that are following my workout channel, they're looking specifically for those workouts. So I don't mix and match different subjects. And this is something you have to be very careful with. When you're doing what's in my gym bag for a video, then you're doing a workout video, then you're doing a vlog about fitness, then you're showing your travel to someplace, you lose people because they're probably only there for one thing. They're not there for a variety show because, again, it's not about you. The other thing is that the YouTube algorithm has a very difficult time deciding, is this a vlog? Is this a cooking show? Is this a workout show? So what it does is it guesses who your target audience might be. And in many cases, they get it wrong, or they don't find your exact audience. And that's when your click-through rates go down. People are just bypassing your videos, not because they're bad videos, but because they're not interested in that. And the reason they're not interested is because it's just not what they're looking for. And that's the algorithm's fault because it's presenting your content to the wrong people. So be very specific. Excuse me. With my fitness channel, it can put a stop share for a second. My fitness channel has a very unique niche. Where are we at here? You can beat the screen share right now.
It should be at if you want to stop the screen share, the bottom of your Zoom panel should have that.
Yeah, there we go. So my fitness channel has a very kind of unique niche. When I set it up, I wanted to do kind of raw training videos. So I didn't want to put music. I didn't want to have the overly bubbly fitness presenter who's constantly talking and doing that. I wanted it to be like a fly on the wall watching somebody train, but it just so happens to have all the time cues and all that sort of stuff there. So the premise of it was two things. Number one, I didn't want to go searching for music constantly. I do have an Epidemic Sound membership. I use it for other vlog videos. I don't like looking for music all the time, and I don't find it's all that good. So I'm like, why not, you know, crank up your own music? If it's AC/DC, if it's whatever it is that floats your boat, crank that up. All the time cues in that are in there. You know, work out based on how you want to work out. So it's kind of like giving people a little bit of a gym vibe at a time where a lot of the gyms are closed. As it turns out, there's a lot of people that like training in silence. It's become almost like an ASMR thing where people are just, I've got private messages where people are like, please don't start adding music to videos. We love it. It's quiet. We don't like all the preachy type trainers and stuff like that. So that kind of worked for me. And I'm not going to change that because my retention rate is high and I'm still growing from anywhere, you know, 30 to 50 subscribers every day. And there seems to be an audience for it. So why mess with that? So really, really think hard about niching down. You know, don't mix vlogs with workouts and all that sort of stuff, at least not right away. There are 3 types of videos that I recommend people do when it comes to populating a page. There's discovery videos, there's community videos, and then there's sales videos. I tend to, with my marketing page, I kind of mix the community and the sales videos together. But the big difference is discovery videos are the videos that have nothing to do with you. They're meant to, almost in a little bit of a clickbaitish way, without being clickbait, get people to your page. You know, and how you do that is, I mean, you need to realize that there are so many beginner to intermediate level people on YouTube looking for workouts. They're not looking for, you know, some of the training terminology that we know. They look for a lot of very interesting things like dumbbell workout to lose belly fat. And, you know, as trainers, we know that you can't spot train belly fat. Like, it just doesn't work like that. However, it doesn't change the fact that a lot of people, and these are like very high ranking searches, are looking for that. They're looking at lose 10 pounds in 14 days. Like, again, like things that are not necessarily healthy. I'm not saying to use those as clickbait to get somebody on, but you do still have to talk in human terms to get people on your channel, even if you're going to explain to them how to do it properly. That's how you're going to build your community. So with my workouts, for example, if I put up a kettlebell workout, it may say, you know, kettlebell total body workout hyphen lose weight, tighten and tone fast. I don't like doing that. I think it's a little bit gimmicky, but it does work with people and it brings them in, and then you can show them a good workout. Same thing with the marketing channel. Like I'll post something. It could be 5 things you're doing right now that are killing your workout channel, or why your fitness channel won't grow, or things like that. Because they are questions that people ask. And you see it all the time. There's videos about, you know, from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. And, you know, it's the video is never as good as the title, but you need to get them on board somehow. Community videos, excuse me, those are designed to start developing relationships. For me, those are I do a weekly live stream with my audience. And this is, again, off the fitness channel, but onto the marketing channel. And I'll do the live stream. It gives them a chance to ask questions. It kind of develops the community. And in those is where I introduce them to things like buy me a coffee, which we're going to get into in a little bit here. But it's ways to introduce them to other opportunities and things that they can do, and memberships and stuff like that. So we're going to tap into that a little bit later, but something to keep in mind. What we got here? So populating your channel. Basically, when you're populating your channel, you want to get it set up fairly quick. I'm going to bring up channel again. Share screen. All right, so let's go to the Trainer Hub channel. Excuse me. So when you go onto this channel here, you can see that, you know, here we go, get this out of the way. Now, just recently, I used to use this as my thumbnail, very basic stuff. I changed to this here with the nice bold print at the bottom. But when your channel is set up and somebody goes to it, the nice thing about this channel is that there's lots happening. There's lots of workouts, and you can see that, okay, 2 days ago, 5 days ago, 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, it looks like it's fairly active. So you don't want to start pushing your channel down people's throats when they come over here and they see maybe 3 videos and then a whole bunch of white screen because you haven't put anything up yet. Get it set up and work double time to do that. Get it set up nice and quick, with a nice clean, your thumbnail doesn't have to be anything over the top. A lot of people use Canva. I personally don't like Canva. I think it makes you look like everybody else. And I just use a nice photograph. In many cases, this is just a screenshot from my videos. And then I add my logo, I add, a nice bold font. So it shows up in search results and you can see kettlebell and people will usually click to find out if it's a good workout. Yeah, so that's basically what I do there. Once you get it set up where you've got, I always say like 15 videos. So if you did, 2 videos a week for 2 months, that would get you set up with 15 videos. After that, you can go into more of a maintenance phase, which is maybe, it could be a video a week or a video a week's nice. Every 2 weeks is okay. You start going longer than that, your channel starts looking dormant. So you have to be careful of that. But sorry with the cough, guys. A big problem that a lot of people will run into is if you're a trainer and especially if you work in a club, oftentimes people will try and do their workout schedule on their YouTube channel, which is like 3-4 workouts a week, every week, feeling that they have to give the audience this constant feed of stuff. You will burn out fast doing that. And it's also not necessary. I built my channel up to the amount of income that's coming in now, producing less than a video a week on average. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be a constant barrage of videos because there's a million fitness channels. And the fact of the matter is people are probably not doing just your workouts. They're probably jumping around a little bit. So as long as you're doing 1 a week, maybe 2 a week, you're doing more than enough. Focus on making 1 or 2 good quality ones instead of trying to do like 4 and just burn yourself out really quick and then giving up on it for 3 months and then coming back and that yo-yo pattern will start. So work double time, get it populated with like, 15 or 16 videos, go into maintenance phase once a week minimum, and you'll be good. So, oh, sorry, James, I've had this cough for like 2-3 months now.
It gives you that sexy gravelly voice though.
Yeah. And then the more I talk, the more it comes out. That's the worst part. That's what we got this year. Okay. So now our channel's populated. Let's pretend you've been putting it together for a couple of months. Things are set up. When it comes to posting your videos, we kind of tapped on this already, but titles, extremely important. Your name in the title, not extremely important. This is not about you right now. Be very specific to search terms that people look for, because this is what's going to get you found faster. So again, like, James Patrick's kettlebell workout number 6 is not going to be found as quickly as total body kettlebell workout, in-home training, lose weight, have fun, whatever it might be. So title it in terminology that humans use. Great way to use that is actually take advantage of the Google Trends to see what's good for as far as what's popular, what's rising. And another good thing that I tend to recommend to people is it's important even at the onset to make sure that you're thinking about this as a business. Don't think about how you're going to make money once it's monetized, because the smallest amount of my income comes from Google AdSense. And that's just, excuse me, that's just a fact. So you have to start thinking right away, because the fact is, once your channel becomes monetized, every video you've ever done becomes monetized. So you don't want to be going back and trying to change all the descriptions of things and stuff like that to push people into different brand stuff. You have to think about this now. Think about utilizing this to grow your brand. So the Google AdSense is kind of like your payment to your channel itself. After that, it's just basically, one of the videos that I did on my channel is I talked about how I reached out to over 200 different sponsors about getting sponsorships on my channel. And I got 3, which doesn't sound great. However, those 3 sponsors accumulated to most of the income that I've got coming in now. So, and that doesn't have to be, it doesn't always have to be supplements. It doesn't always have to be products, although I do that as well. It can be other things. It can be decor in your house. It can be the clothing you're wearing. It can be, there's a variety of places you can reach out to who are looking for a couple things. They're looking for viewers. They're looking for people that are doing your videos. And I can show people that, I get people on average, they spend 9 minutes on my page every day. It's a lot of time to sell somebody's product. Additionally, these companies in 2021, they cannot keep up with content needs for their own branding because Gary Vee and everyone else is telling them to post 70 pieces of content a day, and they're trying to keep up with that, and they cannot. And I'll tell you right now from experience in the corporate world with the supplement company I was with, to do like a 1-day shoot just to get some B-roll for product videos and things like that, you're talking $8,000 to $10,000 to do that. So when your production quality is half decent, and I'm not saying fancy cameras or anything, it can be done with a phone, but when your production quality is half decent and you're a good presenter and it's a good workout and you're infusing somebody's product, that's content for them. And even if at the early onset, if you were to make a bit of a relationship with a company and not get paid for it, maybe it's something where it's like, I'd love to try it out for a few months and just kind of work with you. And maybe down the road, if it works, we could talk about payment or something like that, which I've done. You are still getting paid, because if you were to make a deal with a supplement company and that supplement company has 250,000 followers on Instagram and they're reposting your videos, the residual value of that audience that you're tapping into crosses over to your channel and helps you populate your channel. So you are winning in that situation. They're winning because even if you don't have a lot of subscribers, if your content's good, they're getting the content for free. You're getting their subscribers who may just find your videos really good and they want to follow you on YouTube. You're getting that for free. Eventually it's like, okay, you can talk to them, and just, it's always about keeping communication open. Excuse me. So regardless of how many subscribers you have early on, you are in a position to start talking about making relationships with companies, sponsorship deals, things like that. Again, I'm whipping through this stuff because we've only got so much time, but a lot of this stuff, there are more long form videos available for it that James can show you at some point. So we basically tapped into that. Got my little cheat sheet of notes here. There's something I was going to mention, I forgot. But yeah, so just to finish off with, treating it like a business, treat it like a business from day one. Pay attention to quality. Don't make it about yourself. Start making relationships and speaking out to different companies that you might be able to work with. The other thing that is a big no-no, and I see a lot of people that do this, where they will put out subpar content on YouTube as a way of trying to drive people to buy a membership platform or to buy, an app or things like that. In 2021, I will argue with anybody on this, that does not work. What you need to do is all of your best content, you put it out on YouTube for free, because that is the front lines and that's what's getting them in the door. Once they're in the door, your next level for a lot of you, I'm going to assume, is online personal training, brand deals, basically maybe creating products, affiliate marketing, things like that. So going over those things, getting brand deals, your front line is the content you produce. It's your frontline content. You want that to be your very best content because you're going to be judged on that. Online digital training, it's no longer about the quality of content. It's about a one-on-one personal relationship with you. They're sold on you through your channel and your high quality content. When it comes to maybe a one-on-one program or something, or online training, now you're talking about Zoom calls. You're talking about it can be like live streams on phones and things like that don't require the absolute highest quality, because now it's about them connecting directly with you and you giving them advice specifically for them. So the quality is not as important in that membership component as it is in the front line. So don't use crappy, not great quality stuff to try and push somebody to pay you money when you haven't proven yourself to any of these people. Because there's just too many. And the good thing is that there's so many people that are still doing it that way. By flipping the switch now, you're well ahead of the game, and it will work. Filming your videos. Excuse me. So you can film a good, high quality workout with your phone. I don't think there's any smartphone that's available on the market now that can't do it quite good. A few things to keep in mind. At some point you do have to make subtle investments. I'm not saying go out and spend a ton of money, but sometimes little subtle investments do help. If you were going to go looking for, say, a camera or something like that, there are lots of consumer level cameras that are relatively inexpensive that can do a really good quality shot. You can use your phone. It's not as easy, but it can be done. Just make sure that you set it for 4K. What that allows is it allows you to punch in your shot. So for example, if you frame your shot to do your workout, and the workout consists of everything from, maybe you're doing like an overhead shoulder press at one point, which means that you have to leave enough headspace so that your arms aren't going off screen. And then maybe at some point you're on the floor doing a plank. So there's a lot of movement up and down there. So you have to frame the shot fairly wide. But with 4K, you can zoom in on your own shot when you're editing. Like, let's say the shot is nice and wide like this, the person goes to the floor, you can zoom in, go down, and suddenly it's tighter on that person on the floor and they're centered again without any loss of resolution. If you do this in 720 or 1080, there will be some loss of resolution. And you want to make sure it is as crisp of quality as you can possibly get, because this is one of the few things that is under your control. So if you're doing it with a phone, 4K. Excuse me. If you're doing it with another kind of camera, you can do it with 1080. I filmed videos with a Canon Rebel T4, which you can find on Craigslist for probably $200 right now. Rich color, very good quality. You can use them for live streams, lots of stuff like that. So you may have to make a slight investment, but that'll be up to you. And you may also just wait until a later date. Incorporating, if you're shooting in your house, if you're shooting in a gym, make sure you have an area that's kind of off to yourself. You don't want to be shooting and talking to people off camera and looking off camera and all that. Focus on your camera, focus on the person at home. Because the hardest thing when you're a trainer trying to connect with a client is that you have to go through a camera to connect with them. It's not as easy as in person. So you have to pay attention to them. If you are doing it from home, make sure wherever you're at has a little bit of depth. You don't want to be backed up against a wall. You don't really want to be backed up against patio doors, but I know a lot of people have to do that just based on living room's the biggest room. That's the room I'm going to use. Patio doors, the one that doesn't have a couch in front of it or anything. So you do that. If that's the case, be on the lookout for those silhouettes that come in. If you need to get curtains or something to block that out, by all means do that, because you don't want to be a shadow in your own workout. This time of year, do it outside. I did some work with somebody actually in James's area, Tiffany Lee Gaston, a year ago or 2 years ago, and we shot outside, and I think the videos are beautiful. I could only bring a small amount of equipment because I'm traveling on a plane, so I have my travel kit, but really nice outdoor shot, pool in the background, it looked great, very colorful. Those things matter. It's an aesthetic appeal. I had somebody contact me recently who's in Australia, and they do all their workouts in front of some sort of like a lake or a body of water. And it's funny, they actually took the audio out to add music. And I'm thinking to myself, I would be taking the music out and putting that ambient sound of the little waves trickling in and stuff like that, because it's very zen. And for I think it was Pilates she was doing. To me, that's more attractive than generic, music. So we've only got what we can work with. So it's just a matter of optimizing what you have to work with. If you're indoors, just be on the lookout for shadows and silhouettes. Make sure you're on invest in a cheap tripod. You can get them for $50 on Amazon, if not less. Something that's not going to bounce if you're doing anything of impact in your living room. And make sure that your shot is level and framed nicely. You don't want to be at the bottom of the shot. You don't want to be at the top of the shot. You want to be nice and centered, nice, clear face. You want them to be able to see you because they are, if they don't emotionally invest in you somehow, you don't get to step 2, which is where you make your money. So you've got full control over that. Take your time, get it right, ask questions. I mean, if you guys are working with James on a regular basis, he knows how to frame a shot, I think. So ask him, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer it for you. So that's basically it. As far as like other forms of lighting, some people do invest in ring lights. I know you can get them for under $100 now. If you need that extra pop of light in your face, sometimes it does help just to balance things out. You can get other lighting kits where if you want to have a couple of lights on each side shining in on you or something to light your background, you can do that. Like even right now, I've got a light right here just to kind of balance things out a bit. And I've also got a light that's shining on the wall behind me with a color gel on it just to do a pop of color in the background. And I'm not a lighting guy, but I'm not even close, but at least it's something so I can make sure if I'm coming on here and talking to you people that it's not terrible quality. It's relatively, you know, I tried to focus and everything's relatively clear, focused, good. Something else that I do recommend as well, I'll throw it in, is manual focus on your camera. When you autofocus and you're moving around a lot in a workout, your camera is constantly trying to keep up with you. And so it constantly just starts moving around and you'll go slightly blurry over and over again. So what you can do, find something or someone to stand in for you. With me, I have a little stool that I use, and then I sit a piece of equipment on top of it. It's like a Surge Storm log thing. I park it right here. I go to my camera, I focus in so it's crystal perfectly clear, and then I sit down so I know that I'm relatively clear. And for this, I'm not moving around a lot. So you have to think about that because you don't want this thing going in and out of blurry because it makes the presentation look poor and it turns people off and they'll drop off your videos. So one thing excuse me, that I meant that now I remember that I was going to mention also about setting up with your titles and that when you're uploading a video. So we're backtracking for a second. When you're doing your key tags, there are people that say that's not important anymore. Those people are wrong. It is extremely important. So when you're doing key tags, which is basically in the description, there's other options, and that's where you add keywords that are relevant to your video. There's 2 types of ways to do this, and I recommend doing a mix of both. Use keyword phrases, which are like ways that people might search for your workout. If your workout is a kettlebell workout, then maybe you post different ways, like almost like full-on sentences or phrases. You know, kettlebell workout for women, kettlebell workout for beginners, like 3 or 4 word phrases that they might be searching. But also use keywords. And this is something that's very important. A lot of people don't realize this, but the average, there's something on YouTube in the analytics called CPM, which is cost per mil, which is essentially the mil meaning 1,000. That's just their fancy way of saying it. So cost per mil is basically what advertisers will pay per 1,000 views on your workouts. And the average CPM on most channels is about $2 to $5. The CPM on my channel is as high as $30 cost per mil. The reason is because I actually reverse engineer my channel key tags. And this is something that I have never said in my channel before. So I'm giving you some new advice here that no one else knows about. You can go into, excuse me, Google Ads. And there's basically a keyword generator thing. This is set up for people that are advertising. So what they can do is they go in and they type in, you know, what their company is about. So whatever that might be, and then relevant keywords come up. And what they're looking for are the lower keywords. Let me see if I can find it here. So it might help if you guys have a visual. Google Keyword Planner. bear with me here, guys. I'm just gonna, because I think the visual will help you guys with this, because this is kind of important. How are we doing for time, James? Are we doing all right?
Yeah, man. Keep
Perfect.
You're rocking away.
React. Settings. There we go. Okay. Where's my trusty share screen? Okay. So here we are in Google Ads. So this is designed for people that want to advertise on YouTube. And what they do is you go to Keyword Planner, and this is their way of figuring out where they want their videos to show up, because the YouTube algorithm tries to connect channels with advertisers. Like if they think that, like if the advertiser is Nike, maybe they want to connect with my channel because it's all people that are working out, that sort of thing. So that's what it's there for. And discover new keywords. So what you would do here is you would put in something like, I don't know, we'll say kettlebell workout. And we want to always look in United States because the United States pays out the best. See what we got. So whenever this comes up, somebody who's advertising, they're looking for low competition keywords. Reason being is they actually will get more for their money that way. Whereas the high competition are the ones that can be more expensive. So if you look here at high range bid, people will bid as much as high as $500 for, it's always the Les Mills stuff. Trying to open this up for you guys. Yeah, so for like Les Mills kettlebell workout, $500, $41, $16. So and I'm going to add some more stuff there just to get some more results. But essentially, my keywords, like my CPM on my videos, which means I have videos that have maybe 200,000 views on them, and I'm making significantly more money than a lot of people who have 1 million views in their videos, because they're getting $2 or $3 per every 1,000 views, where I'm getting things like $25 to $30 because I'm using the really high competition keywords. So this is kind of high level stuff, but any hack you can use to try and get ahead with this is good. And you want to do this now, because even though you're not monetized now, once you're monetized, this all will kick in. And I had to do a lot of research on this because, again, I'm not a YouTube expert, and I could not figure out why some of my lower viewed videos were making more than my high viewed videos, until I realized that my lower viewed videos were just the keywords were better. So I started implementing that constantly by using this. So again, somebody using this for advertising, which is what it's before, or what it's for, they're looking for stuff like these low ones, 30-day free weight workout plan, you know, $294, like they're looking for the lower stuff. You want to look for the really high competition stuff. So anything that's like up around 100 with like a really nice high, like if I go down through here. Now, with that being said, you don't want to false advertise. Like using Les Mills dumbbells, I probably wouldn't do that because it's not a Les Mill program that I'm doing. But same thing with brute force and stuff like that. But there are ones, again, I don't think I picked a great one, like 10 kettlebell, 10 7. I'm not even sure what that one means, but you can go through. And I mean, again, there's like how much came up for this? There's plenty that came up, but you can see when you go in here, like all these ones that are double digits, $11, $12, and you know, 10-pound kettlebell workout, you know, $16. like that's one. And what you can do is you can basically go through and whatever ones you want, you pick them and you just highlight them. And then whenever you're done here, you would just copy them. And then you would paste them into your workout. And you've got all these high CPM keywords in there. That's going to basically, your video is going to make more money because you're going to get higher paying advertisers on your videos. So there you go. That was kind of an odd sidebar thing, but important. So back to normal here. And we went over production. Where am I at now? Post-production on your videos. Learn to do it. This is one of those things where you may, I use Adobe Suite for video editing and for my thumbnails. Again, I know there's free apps like Canva, and I know there's Filmora, which I've heard some people use for video editing. There's Windows Movie Maker, I think still. At some point in time, if this is a business or a part of your brand, you may want to think about investing in a monthly subscription to Adobe Suite, because it does help significantly with your production quality. And it's just much more universal. There's a lot of little widgets and things that you can use and graphics that you can implement seamlessly. So again, not something you have to jump into right away, but it may be something that eventually you consider doing if you start making a couple of dollars doing this. Always make sure that when it comes to putting together your videos and your choreography, I do the same choreography in every video in terms of timing. The structure of my workouts are usually it's anywhere from 6 to 8 exercises, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off with a 1 minute rest in between. The reason I put the 1 minute rest in between, and I'll do 3 rounds usually for these, but the reason I put in the rest period is that I can insert an advertisement there. So again, what we were just talking about with the high CPM rates, a lot of workouts can't put commercials in the middle of their workout because there's no down period. And you don't want to ruin when you're in the middle of a set following somebody's workout and it cuts to commercial, that's going to piss somebody off really good. But with mine, it cuts to a 1 minute rest period where my screen goes kind of opaque and it comes up, it says 60 seconds rest. And usually somewhere in the middle of that, I'll cut to a commercial, because all I'm basically doing is giving them like an extra 10 seconds of rest. And then I'm making money off that. So instead of getting, 1 or 2 advertisements at the first and the end of my video, I'm now getting like 5 or 6. So again, my CPM is 5 times the average person. And then I'm also getting 3 times as many advertisements in without hurting my videos. And you can actually pick the exact moment once you're monetized of where you put those ads. So it's kind of important to do that now. I know a lot of people want to do these like gung-ho 30 minutes, no stopping type workouts. But again, from a business perspective, your audience will appreciate a little break here and there, and it gives you a chance to insert a commercial, which does help. And these commercials, they can usually skip them in 5 seconds. So if they're not interested, they can still get out of it, but it's not a big deal during a point of rest, because they're going to be getting a drink. They're not going to be in the middle of something at that point. So, all right. So keep that in mind. Interval timers, very important. Find a way to include your interval timers, find a way to include the exercise names, things like that. Having a little rest between exercises is good, because again, we take for granted what we know. And I've had people, I now with my videos add the preview for the next exercise during the rest periods, because a lot of people couldn't keep up. And you forget that sometimes, like, you wrote the workout, so you know exactly what's coming up next, and it's all second nature to us. But for somebody who's trying to keep up and they don't know what's next, and they're having to look at the TV and find something else, like when you start using, multiple pieces of equipment or different, and you're on the floor and you're up and down, it's hard for them to keep up and it gets frustrating. And the last thing you want to do when you're trying to build a community member is frustrate them with your workouts. So keep them not simple, but keep them to the point where they're easy to follow with, audio cues is also important. Having that 3, 2, 1 ding, that sort of stuff. It's actually not hard to implement in your editing. You just have to learn it, and it takes a little bit of time, but your videos will do far better. And I started out not doing this, and I heard from a lot of people, to the point where I'm like, okay, this is important to a lot of people. So I started doing it. And it helped a lot. And there's a lot of people that have thanked me for it. So good to keep that in mind. So posting videos, we kind of went around that. Consistency, we've kind of talked about as well, as far as, you know, once you get populated, maintenance phase, once a week at least, if you can. So we're going to tap in just real quick to sponsorships and product sales and stuff again. Like I had mentioned earlier, get into it early. I use Buy Me a Coffee, which I had mentioned with my marketing channel, and I'm now starting to use it with my workout channel as well. And I don't like panhandling for money, excuse me. But what I will do is in Buy Me a Coffee for my marketing channel, for example, you know what? Let's bring it up. A lot easier. Buy Me a Coffee is basically like Patreon. And what I do is, oops. Okay. Share screen. So I now use this. This is Buy Me a Coffee, which is a part of my marketing channel. And what I do is I add just anything in there, because again, when you're doing all this stuff for free, I mean, what you have to do, you're putting in the time for a better tomorrow, hopefully. But I add little things like interval time clocks. I didn't realize how hard it was for people to find interval time clocks. A YouTube launch package, which is basically taking, you know, people's channels, and like, this is a channel that somebody had, and then we turned it into a little more of a vibrant look, you know, improving SEO, key tag, stuff like that. So for people that have been going for a while, struggling to get noticed, oftentimes this helps them get a bit of a jolt in the right direction as far as a brand goes. You know, there's all kinds of little things in there. You know, I add email templates, consultations, multiple interval timers, and how to talk, you know, if you're a beginner, how to get sponsorship emails, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing with my workout channel now is we're incorporating things as simple as structured programs. So, and these are very easy to do. You can be posting a lot of different workouts, but you forget sometimes that people don't know what to do. Like if you don't tell the average beginner level person, they'll do a full body workout every day of the week and they think that it's fine. And so what you do once you start populating your channel, don't do these online, you know, 30-day programs. What you can do is you sell that. So what we started doing on my channel now is we're creating like a 30-day program using sandbag training, for example, which would be like a nutrition component. And it tells you what workouts that are already on the channel for free to do on what days. Now, myself or my trainers, we can put a program like that together super quick because we know what we're doing with that. And then, you know, in my case, I've teamed up in the past with different trainers, nutritionists, and biochemists and things like that to bring in somebody. I like to stay in my own lane, so I don't give nutrition advice. I'll bring in somebody who's got phenomenal skills at that, and then I'll add that to my program, and then they'll get a cut of it. It allows me to bring the value of it more. They get exposure. They can use that to develop one-on-one clients as well. And then basically it's a nice product where somebody who's, you know, again, we're coming into summertime now where people are going to hit that second wave of trying to get in shape, panicking because it's like shorts weather all of a sudden. So they're looking for 30-day programs, 60-day programs to lose weight and get back on track. So my workouts are already there for free. Here's the structure that you need for the workouts, and for the nutrition for 30 days and X amount of dollars. You could be doing that within your first 6 months of starting your channel, and you'd be surprised how much money you would make off it. So the first month that I started using Buy Me a Coffee, and I literally started a Buy Me a Coffee account in January just to see how it worked and what it would do. And in my first month, I made $3,000 off it with little trinkety stuff and like that. And now I'm trying to actually make it something good, because I mean, it's got some good stuff on there, but you don't realize what people are looking for, and let people find it and judge. I don't push Buy Me a Coffee. I'll mention it in my live streams for somebody who may be looking for interval timers and things like that, but I don't push it out there too much. And aside from that, I do actually get community members who will buy me coffees every week, just thanking me for a good live stream or little things like that. And you may get the same thing if you've got a core audience who works out with you in a gym and they want to work out with you on YouTube as well. They may send you a couple dollars here or there, and all that money can be turned around and put back into your channel to help continue keep your channel growing. So any kind of products, like for a trainer, it can be as simple as, like I said, a structured program. It could be a one-on-one consultation. You could have like a membership. This is where you would add things like, a one-on-one training, like a 90-day program or a 6-month program, or a monthly membership for what have you, $10 or something. I mean, I started a monthly membership, which is $60 a month to basically have me coaching people to help them with their channels. And we do Zoom calls, and they have access to more deep dive videos on video editing and things like that. And people are going for that. And I'm still not, I would say that my Buy Me a Coffee channel is still unpolished at this point. I still have to take the time to put it together, but you can do this. It could be anything from products, services, all those little things that you can be starting to do right now, regardless of how many subscribers you have. You start putting it together, and it's there once, as your channel grows, it's already in place. All right, last thing. Yeah, and aside from that, I mean, there are things like, affiliate, where are we at here? Now, you can do affiliate marketing. I do some stuff with Amazon and things like that. I don't see a lot of money from that, but it's something, and you can try it. But where you're going to make the most of your money is going to be sponsorship deals and products and services. So again, that can start from day one with 5 subscribers. Before we go to questions, the one other thing that I will mention that I've mentioned different times, and I know I've mentioned on James's podcast, be careful with cross-promoting your YouTube channel with other social media platforms, unless there's a sponsorship involved in there. What will happen, and I see a lot of people that do this, they put a video up on YouTube, and then they go over to their Instagram and they post, check out my new video, link in bio, whatever. Right off the bat, the Instagram and Facebook algorithms, whenever they see link in bio, that is a red flag for them, and they will not surface your video. And so that's why a lot of people don't like those videos when you post them, because they're not seeing them. And these other platforms, because the last thing those platforms want is to send somebody to another platform. You're better off just uploading your video to Facebook and having a second channel, which there are people making money off Facebook right now too. But when you do that as well, what happens is, particularly in the fitness industry, a lot of trainers and stuff, we tend to be more with our Instagrams and stuff. It tends to be more of a community of colleagues than it is a community of potential fans or clients. And when you promote with Instagram, you'll get these people that will check out your channel just for the sake of wanting to see what's going on with you. And they'll look at it for 10 seconds on their phone. They'll abandon the video and go back to their day. But the YouTube algorithm sees, all they see is somebody watched your video for 5 seconds and turned it off. That tells the algorithm that your video can't be that good. So they stop recommending it to as many people, and it brings down your average watch time as well. So it hurts your click-through rates, it hurts your average watch time, and ultimately it can actually hurt you getting found on YouTube, because there are 2 to 3 billion people on YouTube as we speak looking for workout videos. And that is your audience. Your audience is not on Instagram. I know there will be at some points cross promotion. I cross promote if it involves a sponsor. Otherwise, I don't, because you want your average watch time needs to be high. Your views and your likes on your videos do not matter. And I'll say it twice. Your views and your likes on your videos do not matter anymore. It is click-through rates and average watch time is what tells YouTube your video is good. So your thumbnails have to be good so that somebody clicks and watches it. And you want people watching your videos for a significant amount of time, because you're keeping people on that platform, which is extremely valuable to them, and they are going to reward you for that. So with that, that's basically top to bottom. James, I think if somebody has questions or.
I can't believe you crammed that much into an hour.
I can't breathe right now.
Just to check real quick, do you have a hard out?
Nope.
Okay, awesome. All right. So for people tuning in who have questions, now's the time to pop them into the chat window or the comment box on Facebook, or you can pop into the chat or the Q&A box on Zoom. One of the questions that had popped in was a further description on how you use Google Trends, particularly with finding creating your top list, like your top 25 rising workouts, how you do that to help some viewers try to create their own top
Yeah,
lists.
so let me bring it up, and it's probably easier just to show it. Google Trends. All right. Share screen. There we go. So yeah, there's Google Trends, and then there's Google Trends for YouTube. So you want to put in this one here, YouTube Google Trends. And I've kind of found my niche with my channel. So I try not to flip flop around too much. And that's one thing you have to be careful not to follow every trend that happens, because then your channel kind of loses its identity. But when you're starting out, you also want to tap into something like, for example, like I always say with the kids workouts, you can't just fire off like one kid workout once in a while and see what happens. Like you would have to have a dedicated youth workout channel. Or if you did a channel about, for young hockey players, you can't just do one and then the next week you're back doing something for women over 40. Like you need to find that niche. However, this is how you find your niche. So for example, if I were to do a video on Google Trends, which I'll probably do one in the next couple of weeks for my channel, I always look at the last 30 days. I want to see what's the most relevant. I always look in the United States because that's where the largest portion of my audience is. And oops. And you can try different things. Like let's say, for example, that maybe your genre of training is yoga. You just type in yoga, United States, past 30 days. And you can, if you if you want to, you can find out the search terms in your, like in Arizona, if you wanted to. But we want to look at everything. So now down here is where the answers are. So this is your top searches. And this is going to be much more generic stuff. Like you can see kids yoga, beginners yoga, yoga for beginners, cosmic. This is all important because it shows you what the most popular stuff is on YouTube, but it's also the most oversaturated. There's a lot of stuff for these. So yoga challenge, yoga stretch, yoga for weight loss. And this helps because you can do a yoga workout and you can call it yoga for weight loss. If you can find a way to tie it together without being clickbait, there are people who are specifically typing that into YouTube looking for it. But what I like is the rising searches, because these are the ones that are breaking out. And it shows you how much they've gone up. And like yoga has stayed pretty stable over the last 30 days, hasn't changed a whole lot. You'll always notice, like if I went back to like 90 days, I bet you there was a spike in January, because there always is. Yeah, so January, you can see it was up higher than it is now. But for now, we'll stick to 30 days. And there's always going to be some things that aren't important, but detox yoga, do yoga with me, which I'm assuming is probably a channel, evening yoga, postnatal yoga, yoga for runners. This is going to basically rainbow yoga. I'm not a yogi, so I don't know what half this means. 15-minute yoga. Some people, and that's again an important thing to remember, some people will specifically search for a video based on the time they have. And if you're a busy working mom and you've got 3 children and you're, you get up at 6:30 to get a workout done by 7 before the kids get up wanting breakfast, you've got 30 minutes. So you may search for 30-minute total body workout because you just want to, not everybody is as hardcore into this as we may be. So they may just be looking for search based on time, something to get their blood flowing, get them moving. So something I've mentioned to different clients of mine that's also a niche that allows you to do a lot of different things, but still be niche, is doing something like, 10-minute express workouts or 20-minute, express workouts that burn on average 250 calories or something like that. And you can design your workouts around a certain period of time. So it could be a 20-minute yoga workout, 20-minute dumbbell, 20-minute kettlebell, everything's 20 minutes. Like that can be your niche as well. It doesn't always have to be a specific person. It doesn't have to be over 40, over 50. It doesn't have to be men. It doesn't have to be kids. It can just be the structure could be your niche. Again, my channel, the most popular videos on my channel tend to be sandbag and kettlebell workouts. But what my niche is the no music. I think the loft setting is kind of intriguing to people. And basically it's, and just, it's got a certain thing, and it's not just the actual workout genres. But that's basically, yoga for stress relief. So you can do workouts, like you can always pick a few out and use them because they're obviously search terms that are popular. And the same can be said for like I can just put in workout, excuse me, and see what it comes up with. So Lucy 7-minute workout is most likely a channel. So it's K-pop dance workout. That was trending before too. It has the channel. I think it's kids or something. 20-minute HIIT workout. Ab workout with beeps. There are people who are looking specifically for audio cues and stuff like that. So that's basically how it works. You can focus on your genre and you can find out what people are looking for in your genre, but you can also do a broader focus with workouts and find out what people are looking for. You'll always see things with beginners, and you'll always see 7-minute workout, pre-workout stretches. That's a big one too. A lot of people in their workouts, they don't do warm-ups and cool downs. So you could be doing 5-minute warm-ups and 5-minute cool downs and post them on your channel, and you'd be surprised at the people excuse me, that would actually go looking for that, and they may stay on your channel for your other workouts as well. So that's basically that.
What's so great about that is, this comes up so often, which is, well, I don't know what content to be posting. And this is for social media. This is obviously for YouTube. This is about what we're blogging about, what we're podcasting about. Well, I don't know what my audience wants. Well, this is just telling you, this is literally what people are searching for. This is what they want. And if you are able to serve them with what they want, this is a way to accelerate and jump up further. So I think that is such an important point to drill down upon. Also, when we talk about the monetization of this, I think there's a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make, which is they separate the difference between building a business and making money. If I were to ask someone, how do you build a business? They're going to throw back at me things like, well, the foundation of their brand, making sure their website is set up, maybe the SEO, maybe their marketing funnel, maybe they have their email sequencing campaign, maybe they're using Facebook retarget. They're going to talk about all the miscellaneous work, and they're not going to talk about the thing that actually drives the revenue, which is making sales. And if I were to say, okay, well, if you needed to make $10,000 in the next week, what would you do? And if you push them hard enough, they're going to say, well, I'd probably jump on the phone with a lot of people and start talking to people and start driving some revenue in. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between making money and building a business, and they need to be more interconnected. What's so great about what you're teaching here, especially with the monetization strategy, is now they become more interconnected, which is, yes, you set your brand up on YouTube. Yes, you're building on YouTube, but then at the same time, you're also focusing on, how am I monetizing this? How am I building a business with this? How am I driving revenue with this? So you had mentioned there were two main areas of revenue. One would be ads on the platform itself. And then the next would be if you're able to get sponsors in. Do you think there's a balance between like how many ads you want to be running in a video versus how many sponsors you want to bring in, so you are maximizing your income whilst not disrupting the user experience while watching the video?
Right. So yeah, like you don't want to lace your videos with a lot of ads. One of the hardest things with fitness right now is that YouTube passed a new thing a few months ago where they are allowed to put ads in your videos if you're not monetized and you don't get paid. And the worst part for fitness people is that it's not like watching a gaming channel or a vlog of somebody where going to an ad can be annoying, but it's like you'll eventually come back to whatever it was. You're physically doing something when you're exercising with somebody at home. So when advertisements get dropped right in the middle of a set of a workout, it's very disruptive and frustrating, which is why my goal with any clients I have is get them monetized as quickly as possible, because once you have that 4,000 hours of excuse me, of watch time and 1,000 subscribers, now number one, you're getting paid for those ads, but you also have control over where they go, and you can remove them and move them around on the timeline so that they fall into areas that are not disruptive for the user. But that's why I tell people that even if it's not your style, incorporating rest breaks where you can stick an ad in is good. And yes, like I could probably stick in an extra 3 or 4 ads in my videos if I wanted to, but I try and ride as close to that line as I can without ticking people off, because people don't really want the ads. So I've got an ad that comes up before my video even starts. And then at the end of round 1, once you get 10 or 15 seconds into the rest break, another one comes up. End of round 2, another one comes up. And after the workout ends, another one comes up. So I'll do 4 in most cases per workout, which is double what most people are doing. But yeah, I wouldn't stick in too many, because then it becomes like, this workout's really good, but this is really starting to annoy me, and I'm not going to do another one based on that. Because there are channels that they don't put ads in at all. So
that's really helpful. We have a question here. And this actually leads into another question that I had, which is about length of videos. This question is, if you were doing lots of 30-minute workout videos, as well as a lot of 5-minute warm-up videos, would you recommend separating the channels out, where you have one channel just for the 5-minute warm-ups, and that whole channel is just about warm-ups, then another channel with 30-minute workouts, and that channel is more just about the length of your workouts? Or would those be similar enough to combine within one channel?
Yeah, those can go together because those work well together. What you would do is just set up a separate playlist for your warm-ups and your cool downs. Again, like on my channel, I've got a playlist for kettlebell workouts. I've got a playlist for sandbag workouts, a playlist for dumbbell workouts. I've got a playlist that I think I call it like old school or something, which is basically a bunch of my DVDs from like 10, 15 years ago. So I separate it, and then basically, excuse me. Those work well together. So warm-ups and cool downs can completely go in their own playlist. It's when you get into, and I see this a lot, where people try and do vlogs. People always ask me what's in my gym bag. People always ask me what my favorite exercise is. And you're kind of doing that twist where it's becoming a vanity project about yourself. And it just doesn't really work well on YouTube. Eventually, because the fact of the matter is, the audience you're trying to attract, they don't know you. Again, and it comes down to the people they're trying to get their Instagram following to go over to YouTube, but perhaps in some cases, and again, I see a lot of people who have significant Instagram audiences, but 3/4 of their photos are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sexy and provocative, I guess it would be. And they don't even realize, because they don't look, that 75% of your audience are men between the ages of 18 and 25. They're not going to go to your YouTube channel and do your YouTube workout. And if they do, they might just go to see what you're wearing, watch it for 10 seconds, and then bail on it. So very different audiences. So it's really important to focus on that YouTube audience, and they don't know you, so they don't really care what your opinion is. You need to feed them just strictly facts. And you want to do it in a very personable, and obviously it's good to have a personality on camera, but realizing that they don't know you yet. So for those discovery videos, just be yourself, be friendly, be, energetic, but stick to the facts of something, not about what the facts are to you. You know, like if if you're doing a tutorial on something, just focus on what it is, not that people always ask you about it. And because again, it's a fitness thing, James, where I see a ton of people that they have to crowbar in something about themselves. Like it's just a thing that we do. And it's like, that's got to go away because it doesn't work. You know, in this day and age, like it's a vanity play, and it can be a real turnoff for people and where they're just looking for information.
That's such an important fact that even I didn't consider, which is the audience we're trying to reach on YouTube is an audience that doesn't know who we are. They're
Right.
not there to learn about us. They're there to learn about what we are trying to teach them,
Right.
or what value they're getting out of it.
And the great thing about keeping it to, you know, keeping it very factual and keeping it niche down on something that's more specific is, again, it gets you moving much quicker with subscribers and views. Somebody actually asked me yesterday, one of my community members, they were asking if Heather Robertson, you probably know who she is, James. She's got a YouTube channel. She's quite involved in fitness. She's up here in Canada, had tremendous growth last year. Probably there's no one hotter in fitness on YouTube right now. She went from about 100,000 subscribers to over 1 million in 1 year. And they said that her videos kept popping up on page 1 of Google. Is she paying for that? And my short answer was no, she's not, because she's got so much organic growth. Of course, her videos are going to pop up. But to put it in perspective for this person that I was talking to, I have, I think, at least 5 videos from my channel that show up on page 1 of Google. And my channel's only got 17,000 subscribers. But the reason is that the videos are tapping into niches that are not populated. So the people, you know, maybe 2 billion people aren't searching for my sandbag workout, but guess what? There's a solid amount of people that are, and it's enough to make my channel grow and make money. And that's how you have to look at it. And sometimes it's really abandoning what you want to do what's best for your channel. You know, to get people to get found. I mean, the biggest video I ever did was a very primitive looking trap bar deadlift 2-minute tutorial. And it's front and center on page 1. It's probably like Joe Arco's in it, and Joe got recognized at the airport for that video. And it's like, it just takes that one video that gets your channel going. And then you keep trying to fuel that fire, because as one video goes down, you want to have another one coming up. And then, because your channel really is going to grow off 2 or 3 videos. That's just kind of the nature of it.
All right, we got one last question for you. Then I will allow you to rest your voice. And it's a perfect segue too. This question comes from one of our members, Stacy Mercure. And she's asking, what if your niche isn't a search word? And to give you context, Stacy's brand is mixing together heavy metal music with yoga. So her brand is Heavy Metal Yoga. So, and I'm just projecting into what I imagine she's asking, which is, how does she establish that platform for something so niche that people might not know it exists yet?
Does she use commercial music for that? Or
That's a good question, Stacy. And type into the chat box if you use commercial music for it. If I remember correctly, she was worried about licensing of commercial music, so she might have been looking for Creative Commons music that she could use.
Yeah, because that's the only unfortunate part with that is that you don't get monetized. You can get copyright strikes, and even if you don't care about the monetized part, if it just takes the wrong record label to, you know, people can basically just be okay with it, and they take any money your channel makes if they do a copyright infringement thing. But some people will just shut you down. And if you get 3 strikes, you could put 2-3 years into building up a channel and a brand, only to have it struck down by one pissed off record executive for using that commercial music. So that's a hard one to get around. The genre of heavy metal yoga is awesome. Like, that's something that I could totally get behind and see doing really, really well. Like, that's really cool. Excuse me. And again, it doesn't always have to be about a certain, your niche doesn't have to be a certain thing like that. Like I mentioned, that person in Australia that I spoke to, like, her thing working out in front of this body of water, and she looks like she's in the outback of Australia. I found it, I wasn't even interested in her workout. I just found the location was really intriguing. And then the ambient noise of that. So like, I mean, her niche could be, you know, outback yoga or whatever it was she was doing. Excuse me. But I think the genre is great. It's just how do you get around the music part of it? So I don't know if that's something she cares about or not.
She's in the comments, she's saying she does use commercial music, Disturb, Godsmack, etc.
Okay. Excuse me. It's a workout that I would do for sure, but that's, you're not going to get monetized doing that. And yeah, it's that could even affect you with sponsorships, because some brands would be worried about connecting with a channel that's using, you know, that sort of stuff. Like I would almost, that's a hard one to get around. There's almost no get around from that. Cause I know even if you went into Epidemic Sound looking for, you know, kind of that free domain type heavy metal music, it's not going to sound the same as Disturbed and Godsmack and stuff. So that's a tough one. Like I just, there's no real, if this is a money-making thing, I guess the only thing you could do is try and push people to like a website, like a membership type of deal, you know, where you're trying to get them in there. And at least if those videos are private, then you can kind of get away with it better. Cause I've dealt with this even years ago. I had a woman who used the Beatles in her DVD, and she's producing a DVD. And I'm like, I can't even put my name on this. You've got the Beatles, you've got Elton John, you've got this, like there's so many lawsuits waiting to happen here. And so that's the only thing with that, is you're not going to get around it for money. You're going to lose that income, or you're going to get copyright strikes, and 3 strikes, they'll shut down your channel.
We had another client who was doing workout videos that were it was dance movements, but the dances were choreographed to music. She was able to get around it just by finding music that she was able to license through Creative Commons. That worked for her. Obviously, it's not going to be music that people know, but it still hits the impact of what she's trying to do. It has the right cadence or the right beat. Would you suggest that being the appropriate next step for Stacy, which is on that public front, or that YouTube front, which is one, trying to get that discovery traffic, and then trying to nurture that discovery traffic to try to go that route to at least get the audience in, and then in her main program still be able to use more of that?
Yeah, like if it were me and I was trying to find a go around to that, I would do 2 things. I would basically create the video with licensed music. Get Epidemic Sound would probably be the first I would recommend, because I've dealt with a lot of those different music companies, and they have the most real sounding music for what, like some of them are just really generic, terrible beats. Their stuff isn't bad. And I would put up your video. Each video I do, I would upload it twice, once with licensed music and once with no music, and then drive people to your website to download a playlist. So if you want to use Disturbed and Godsmack and all that, create like a little MP3 playlist, and basically they can download that from your site. And that's a great way to get their email address as well. And then they can play that playlist and watch the video with no music, and they can still hear your voice and doing all your stuff, and basically play the music on their whatever iPod or whatever they're doing. That would probably be the best way to get around it. It sounds like a lot of work, but it's probably the way I would do it. Oh, okay. Awesome idea. But yeah, that would be a good way to do that. Cause again, you're actually able to get their email address. They go to your site, send them a Dropbox link where it just has those songs in a consistent list. Everybody press play at the same time, and they do the video with that music at home. And then the video, and each video has like no music, and then in the description, you tell them to go to this link to download the playlist for today's workout, or they could just click on the one with the generic track. So you're taking care of both sides without actually doing copyright strikes and all that. And then, yeah, that would probably be the way to get around that.
So with, to get back to the heart of the question, which is driving awareness or discovery to her channel, if people aren't searching for heavy metal yoga, what would be ways to kind of capture people's attention in their YouTube searches to see something that they might not have realized existed?
First and foremost, I'm hoping that your channel is called Heavy Metal Yoga, because that's perfect. Call it Heavy Metal Yoga. Visit other yoga channels, go in the comments, and just randomly comment people and compliment them on a great, and go to the most popular ones, compliment them on a great workout. So I love this workout. This is so awesome, blah, blah, blah. Don't mention your channel, because the fact of the matter is her comments, if she's really popular, are filled with people who do yoga, and they're seeing a channel called Heavy Metal Yoga saying that's a really good workout, whatever. All you want them to see is the title of your channel. They will click through because there's going to be a curiosity factor there. That's how I would do that. Communicate. One thing that people don't do on YouTube enough is communicate. Something, and this is exactly what I did that got my channel to start growing. I changed my channel. My marketing channel used to be called Regan Rogerson, and it was the same thing. Nobody's looking for me on YouTube. I changed the name to Fitness Marketing Hub. And what I started doing is, because I I creep on YouTube. I love searching for anything like, dumbbell hit workout posted, and I'll change the filters to see what's been posted in the last hour, because that's going to show me that gets past all the super popular people, and you can see all the lower level people, and there's some really good workouts in there that from people that aren't being discovered, and they're getting like 9 views and stuff. And I would go in and watch some of these workouts, and I would compliment them. I would just say, this is a really good workout, or said really well produced. And first and foremost, I don't compliment anybody if I don't think their workout's good or I don't think their production's good. It's the ones that actually I can see are doing a really good job and they're putting in the time, but they're not getting discovered. So I go in and I'll just say, this is a really good workout. Great job. Keep it up. I don't say, hey, if you need help, go check me out. I don't say any of that because I don't like doing that. I don't think it's appropriate. But what they're seeing is Fitness Marketing Hub, which is obviously something they need because they're not getting views or subscribers, complimenting them. They click through, and 9 times out of 10, they're subscribing. So that got me started with people, and these people were coming over to my channel. Some of them became clients. You can do the same thing. Make sure your channel name is Heavy Metal Yoga is perfect, and just go off to other channels and don't spam, but just compliment. And I've had people do it to me as well. I had one guy who was a personal trainer who went to my workout channel, and I was behind in answering comments. And so I went over, and somebody had asked me a question, and this guy actually answered it really well. And he didn't say, yeah, if you want more answers, go to my channel. He just answered it really nicely. And I commented below and said exactly what he said is exactly what I would have said. And it didn't, to me, it wasn't intrusive. It didn't bother me at all, but he may well have got a subscriber out of that. That may not have even been his purpose of doing that, but it was a good idea because his channel was like, I think it was his name, something CPT. So he's a trainer. I would have clicked through to see who this guy is because he answered the question really well.
That is epic advice. Regan, I got to thank you so much. Every time you and I do a podcast together, do a live together, we've done YouTube trainings together, having you come into this membership. You're always just a wealth of information. You always over deliver. I cannot be more grateful for you. Where can our attendees go to be able to check? Obviously they've seen your YouTube links, but is there anywhere else that people can go to learn more about you and the awesome platforms that you have going to help fitness professionals grow their brands on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, like, excuse me, the main one is Fitness Marketing Hub, which I can throw that into YouTube here, or into the, and the good thing is that like there's a lot of stuff that I really ran over fast today. There's some more thorough videos and stuff there, and I try and post every week, and we do live stream Q&As and stuff, and we've had James on different times. On Instagram, it's at Regan Rogerson. If you want to connect with me on there, and those are really the main two. I mean, I do the Facebook and stuff like that, but Trainer Hub is the YouTube channel for workouts and stuff like that. But yeah, if anybody has questions after this, I mean, you can ask through James, you can ask me directly. I work with quite a few people on this, and not everything costs money. And I love seeing channels grow. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to try and answer questions if people think of something after the fact and that sort of thing.
Awesome. Regan, thank you so much. And to all of our members for tuning in both on Facebook and on Zoom. Really appreciate all of you. We'll have more information coming out about our next live coaching session, and the replay will get up on this onto the platform very soon. And hope everyone has just an absolutely amazing weekend. And Regan, take care, buddy. I appreciate you so much.
All right, James, take care, man. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a good one.
Bye.